When you see a package on your doorstep that you do not remember ordering, your first instinct is likely curiosity. You might wonder if a family member sent you a surprise gift, or perhaps you simply forgot about a late-night purchase. However, knowing exactly how to handle that unexpected box is one of the most effective ways to protect your peace of mind and lower your daily stress levels. High stress and anxiety over potential fraud can disrupt your sleep and spike your blood pressure. So taking control of the situation is actually a vital part of maintaining your overall health. By understanding what is happening before you even reach for the scissors, you can keep your home safe and your mind at ease. Hello, I am Dr. Laura Simmons, and I want to warmly welcome you to Senior Safety Check. I have also added a helpful guide to the Senior Health Guide app, linked below. Now, let's dive in. Before we discuss the details, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever received a package with your name on it that you absolutely did not order? Please let me know by typing yes or no in the comments section below. We often think of scams as someone calling us on the phone or sending a suspicious email, but scams have moved into the physical world, landing right on our front porches. There is a specific type of deception happening right now called a brushing scam. It sounds like a strange name, but the concept is actually quite simple. A brushing scam occurs when an online seller, usually located overseas, sends you items you never bought. They do this to create a fake transaction trail so they can write a positive review in your name. They are brushing up their ratings to look like a trusted seller. You might be thinking that receiving free items does not sound like a bad thing. Who wouldn't want a free scarf, a packet of seeds, or a small gadget? But I want you to pause and look at the bigger picture with me. If a stranger sends you a package, it means they already have your name and your home address. That is the part that concerns me as a doctor who cares about your safety and well-being. It is not just about the item in the box. It is about the privacy that has been breached to get it there. Let me share a story about a woman named Margaret who lives in Ohio. Margaret is 72 years old and lives alone. One Tuesday afternoon, she found a small, padded envelope in her mailbox. It was addressed specifically to her, with her full name and correct address. When she opened it, she found a cheap-looking silicone ring. She had not ordered a ring, and none of her children had sent it. At first, Margaret just shrugged it off. She thought maybe it was a mistake or a promotional gift. She put the ring in a drawer and forgot about it. However, a few weeks later, Margaret started getting more packages. A phone case for a phone she did not own, a small battery-operated fan, a packet of hair ties. It became overwhelming. She felt like someone was watching her house or that she had lost control of her own mail. The anxiety started to keep her up at night. She would wake up at 3 a.m, worrying that maybe her bank account was being drained or that her identity had been stolen. She wasn't just receiving junk. She was receiving a clear signal that her personal information was circulating in places it should not be. Stay with me here, because this next part is crucial for understanding why this happens. The sellers doing this are usually operating on major e-commerce websites. These platforms rank products based on how many sales they have and how many 5-star reviews they get. If a seller wants to be at the top of the search results, they need verified sales. So, they take your information, which they may have bought from a data broker or found in a data breach, and they create a fake order. They send a cheap item to your house so that the tracking number shows delivered. Once the package is delivered, they can post a glowing 5-star review using your account or a fake account linked to your address. They are using your home as a dumping ground to manipulate the system. While Margaret's story ended with her simply being annoyed and anxious, the situation can sometimes be more physically dangerous. This brings me to another important point. We often assume that if something comes in the mail, it has been checked for safety. That is not always true, especially with these unsolicited packages. Consider the experience of a man named David, who lives in London, England. David is 68 and loves to tinker with electronics in his garage. He received a package containing a Bluetooth speaker. He hadn't ordered it, but it looked brand new and functional. Being curious, he decided to charge it up and see if it worked. He plugged it into the wall outlet in his kitchen and went to the living room to read the newspaper. About 20 minutes later, he smelled burning plastic. He rushed into the kitchen to find the device smoking and sparking. David was lucky. He was able to unplug it safely and toss it outside before it caught fire. But this illustrates a severe risk. The items sent in brushing scams are often cheap, unregulated knockoffs that do not meet safety standards. They have not passed the rigorous testing that legitimate products go through. When you open that box and bring that item into your home, you are introducing a potential hazard. It could be an electronic device with faulty wiring, cosmetics with banned ingredients, or even seeds that are invasive or carrying pests that could harm your local garden. I want you to hear this clearly. If you did not order it, you have no way of knowing if it is safe. So, what should you actually do when you spot that mystery box? The very first step happens before you even pick it up. Look closely at the label. Does it have your specific name, or does it say current resident? If it says current resident, it is likely just junk mail or a mass marketing campaign, which is annoying but generally harmless. However, if it has your full legal name, that is your confirmation that this is a brushing scam or a targeted error. Next, look at the return address. Often these packages will have a return address that looks strange. It might be an Amazon fulfillment center, or it might be a vague address that turns out to be a warehouse or a residential house when you look it up on the internet. Sometimes there is no return address at all. If you see foreign writing on the label that you do not recognize, be extra cautious. Now, let's talk about another layer of this problem that often gets overlooked. It is the financial side. Even though the item itself didn't cost you anything, the fact that the scammer has your address suggests they might have other information too. This was the case for a woman named Betty from Texas. Betty is 75 and is very careful with her budget. She received a package containing a bottle of face cream. Unlike Margaret, Betty was immediately suspicious. She didn't open the jar. Instead, she called her daughter. Her daughter did a quick search online and found that this specific brand of face cream was associated with a free trial scam. Here is how that variation works. Sometimes the scammers aren't just boosting ratings, they are setting a trap. If you engage with the package, for example, if you call a phone number listed on an insert inside the box to verify your receipt, you might be inadvertently signing up for a monthly subscription service. In Betty's case, she hadn't signed up for anything yet, but the scammers were hoping she would call the number on the invoice to complain. If she had called that number, they would have asked for her credit card number to process a return or cancel the charge. Betty's story teaches us a valuable lesson about engagement. The scammers want a reaction. They want you to verify the delivery or complain or return the item because any interaction confirms that you are a real person who opens their mail and responds to prompts. Please pay attention to this part because it is a common mistake. Do not call any phone numbers found on the paperwork inside the package. Those numbers are often fake customer service lines manned by the scammers themselves. If you need to check if a charge was made, look up the official company phone number on your own, using a trusted source like the back of your credit card statement. or the official website of the retailer. Now, you might be wondering, Dr. Simmons, am I allowed to keep the stuff? In many countries, including the United States, the law states that if you receive merchandise you did not order, you can consider it a free gift. You are under no legal obligation to pay for it or return it. However, just because you can keep it doesn't always mean you should. As we discussed with David's electronics, the item might be unsafe. If it is something harmless like a pair of socks or a plastic toy, you might choose to donate it or throw it away. But if it is anything that plugs into a wall, anything you put on your skin, or anything you eat, my medical advice is to dispose of it immediately. It is simply not worth the risk to your health. Let's look at another aspect of this. When you receive these packages, it is a sign that your data is out there. It is a symptom of a larger issue. This can feel frightening, but there are simple, practical steps you can take to tighten up your security without becoming a computer expert. Think of your personal data like the keys to your house. If you lost a key, you wouldn't necessarily move to a new house, but you would probably change the locks. In the digital world, changing the locks means changing your passwords. If you start receiving brushing packages, it is a very good idea to log into your major shopping accounts, like Amazon, eBay, or Walmart, and change your password. Even if the scammer didn't access your account directly to send the package, changing your password is a good precautionary measure. Also, check your archived orders or hidden orders sections on these shopping sites. Sometimes scammers who have hacked into an account will archive the fraudulent orders so you don't see them on your main history page. I want to introduce you to one more person, a man named Samuel from Florida. Samuel's experience was a bit different and highlights why you need to be observant. Samuel received a package that was actually addressed to his neighbor, but it was left on Samuel's porch. Being a good neighbor, he walked it over. But then it happened again the next week and the week after. It turned out the neighbor wasn't ordering these items either. The scammers were using a slightly wrong address to confuse the delivery drivers, or perhaps testing to see which houses were empty or easy targets for porch piracy. This brings up the concept of porch pirates. Sometimes scammers use stolen credit cards to buy high-value goods and ship them to an address where they know the homeowner is elderly or away. Then, a runner, someone working for the scammers, will swoop in and steal the package from your porch before you even get to it. If you see a package that isn't yours, and then you see a stranger loitering nearby or a car driving slowly past your house, do not go outside to confront them. Your safety is far more important than a cardboard box. This is important. If you suspect criminal activity like this, where people are watching your home for packages, call your local non-emergency police line. Do not put yourself in harm's way to protect a package that you didn't even order. Now, let's get back to the item itself. If you open a package and find seeds, this is a very specific type of brushing scam that authorities have warned about for years. You might think, oh, lovely, I'll plant these in the garden. Please do not do that. These seeds are often from other countries and have not been screened by agricultural departments. They could be invasive species that could overtake your local plants, or they could introduce diseases to your soil that could linger for years. If you receive seeds, do not throw them in the trash where they could sprout in a landfill. The best thing to do is to put the seeds and the packaging into a sealed plastic bag and then put that bag in the trash. Or you can contact your local agricultural extension office and they might want to collect them for study. We have talked a lot about the physical items, but I want to touch on the emotional aftermath again. It is very common to feel violated when this happens. It is a small invasion of your sanctuary. Acknowledging that feeling is important. You are not overreacting. It is perfectly normal to feel uneasy when a stranger interacts with your home. There is another scenario that is becoming more common, and it involves what looks like a very expensive item. Imagine opening a box to find a high-end watch or a tablet. You know you didn't buy it. A few days later, someone knocks on your door. They might be wearing a uniform that looks like a delivery driver, or they might just be a person claiming they accidentally sent their package to your house. They ask for it back. This is a critical moment. If you hand that package over, you might be helping them complete a crime involving a stolen credit card. If they ordered the item with a stolen card to your house, they are trying to retrieve the goods without being traced to their own address. If this happens, keep the door locked. Tell them through the door that you will return the package to the post office or the delivery company yourself. Do not open the door and hand it to a stranger. If a stranger at your door insists that you hand over a package, or if they become aggressive when you refuse, call the police immediately. It is better to be safe and let the authorities handle a potential confrontation than to risk your safety for the sake of being polite. Remember, legitimate delivery drivers have protocols for mistakes. They do not desperately bang on your door demanding items back. Once the immediate situation is calm, you are left with the box. If you do not want to keep the item, perhaps because you are worried about safety or simply do not want the clutter, you have a very easy option. You can refuse the package. If the package is unopened, you can simply write refused or return to sender clearly on the label. Then you can put it back in your mailbox or drop it off at the post office. You do not need to pay for postage to return it. This sends a message back to the sender that the package was rejected, and it gets the item out of your house without costing you a penny. However, if you have already opened the package, the post office might not take it back for free. In that case, if the item is something harmless like a plastic comb or a notepad, you can donate it or throw it away. But if you do dispose of it, I recommend removing or blacking out your name and address from the label first. You want to break the link between that package and your identity before it leaves your hands. Let's talk about the money side of things again, because this is where the brushing scam often intersects with identity theft. Even though the scammer usually pays for the item to generate the fake sale, they are often using a credit card that isn't theirs. Sometimes, they might even be using your credit card information that they found elsewhere. This brings me to the story of Eleanor, who lives in Toronto, Canada. Eleanor is 66 and loves gardening. She received a package containing a set of heavy, industrial-grade gardening shears. She knew she hadn't ordered them. Unlike the other people we have discussed, Eleanor decided to check her credit card statement right away. She didn't see a charge for the shears, but she did see a very small charge, less than $1, from a company she didn't recognize. This is what we call a test charge. Scammers will often run a tiny transaction through a stolen credit card number just to see if the account is active before they make a larger purchase. Because the brushing scammer had her address and likely her financial information, they were testing the waters. Eleanor called her bank immediately. They canceled her card and issued a new one. Because she caught it early, she didn't lose any money. Stay with me here. If you receive a brushing package, treat it as a gentle alarm clock. It is time to wake up and check your financial health. Go through your bank statements for the last few months. Look for anything that seems out of place, even if it is a small amount. If you see something you don't recognize, call your bank. It is much better to be overly cautious than to let a thief have access to your hard-earned savings. Also, consider placing a fraud alert on your credit report. In the United States and many other countries, this is a free service. It simply means that if someone tries to open a new credit card or take out a loan in your name, the bank has to call you first to verify it is really you. It adds a layer of protection that operates in the background, keeping you safe while you go about your day. There is another preventative step you can take that is very effective. Most large online retailers like Amazon or eBay have a way for you to report these unsolicited packages. They want to know about brushing scams because it hurts their reputation too. If you receive a package from a major retailer that you didn't order, go to their website and look for their Report Unwanted Package form. You can usually find this by searching their customer service or help pages. By reporting the tracking number on the box, you help the retailer identify the bad seller and ban them from the platform. You are not just protecting yourself, you are helping to stop the scammer from targeting other seniors. I want to pivot for a moment to your physical safety when dealing with these deliveries. We often forget that handling packages can be a physical strain, especially if they are unexpected and heavy. When you find a box on your porch, do not just bend over at the waist to pick it up. As we get older, our lower backs become more vulnerable. If the package looks heavy, or even if it doesn't, use your legs. Squat down by bending your knees, keep your back straight, and bring the box close to your chest before standing up. If you decide to take the package to the post office or to a donation center, please be careful. Do not rush. One unexpected box is not worth a strained back or a fall. If you have trouble with balance, have a neighbor or a family member help you move it. Let me slow down here. I want to explain a technical term that you might hear when people talk about securing your accounts. It is called two-step verification. You might hear it called 2FA or multi-factor authentication, but two-step is the easiest way to think about it. Imagine your front door has a deadbolt and a chain. To get in, you need to unlock the deadbolt. That is your password. But with two-step verification, you also need to undo the chain. In the digital world, the chain is a code sent to your phone. So, even if a scammer guesses your password, the deadbolt, they cannot get into your account because they do not have your phone to see the code, the chain. If you are worried about how these scammers got your address, turning on two-step verification on your email and shopping accounts is one of the best things you can do. It sounds complicated, but usually it is just a setting you click once. Then, whenever you log in from a new device, your phone will buzz with a code. It gives you incredible peace of mind knowing that your account is double locked. I also want to address the why me feeling. It is very easy to feel targeted or singled out when this happens. You might wonder if you did something wrong. Did you click the wrong link? Did you answer the wrong phone call? The truth is, often you did nothing wrong at all. Data breaches happen at big companies, hospitals, credit bureaus, retail chains. Your address might have been on a list that was stolen 5 years ago. Please do not beat yourself up or feel foolish. This is a crime of opportunity by the scammers, not a failure on your part. The most important thing is how you respond now. By knowing what to do, checking the label, not using the item if it's unsafe, and securing your accounts, you are taking the power back. We have covered a lot of ground, from exploding electronics to invasive seeds, and from return to sender labels to bank statements. It might feel like a lot to remember, but it really boils down to 3 simple words: caution, check, and clear. Be cautious with the item, check your accounts, and clear your home of anything unsafe. Remember, your home is your sanctuary. You have the right to decide what comes in and what stays out. A box on your doorstep does not grant a stranger permission to disrupt your life. You are in control. You have the knowledge now to handle this calmly and effectively. You do not need to be afraid of the mail. You just need to be aware. If you are ever in doubt about a package, trust your gut. If something feels off, strange packaging, no return address, a weird smell, leave it outside. Call a family member or a friend to come look at it with you. There is no urgency. The package isn't going anywhere. Take your time, take a breath, and prioritize your safety above curiosity. Finally, think about your daily routine. Stress is a major factor in health issues for seniors. Worrying about scams can raise your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. By taking these practical steps, changing your password, checking your statement, you are closing the loop. You are finishing the task. This allows your brain to relax. You can go to bed at night knowing you have done everything necessary to protect yourself. That peace of mind is invaluable for your heart health and your immune system. If videos like this help you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip. To recap, never open a package if you suspect a scam. Do not use the items if they are electronic or edible, and check your bank statements for suspicious activity. Even small daily steps can help you feel steadier, safer, and more confident as you navigate the modern world. This video is for education only and is not personal medical advice. Please consult your own doctor for any health concerns.